Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I have three meditation books with me today. I have the 2 Melody Beatty books with me that I have, and then I have the Daily Book of Positive Quotations. I was grabbing the books out of the bathroom. I keep them underneath the cabinet in the bathroom, and so I thought this one just kind of screamed out at me and just popped out, and I was like, you know what, I think I'll read from this today because I haven't read it in a long time. So let's go in here and see. Oh, I pulled it right up. This is so crazy, you guys. I didn't even write up to October 3rd. So I must really need to hear what this message has to say. So, winning effort, October 3rd. Hold on a second. Let me put my glasses on. October 3rd, winning effort. Winning is not everything, but the effort to win is. Zig Ziglar, which is so funny because my dad used to love Zig Ziglar back in the day. He used to listen to all of his like motivational tapes and stuff. To run a marathon, we train for months. Although we may not expect to win, we hope at least to do well in our age group or to top a personal best. When the big day comes, we strive to meet whatever goal we've set for ourselves, to win, in other words, on our own terms. If we don't, are we losers? How could we be? We've worked hard, gotten into great shape, perhaps even made new friends. These things have more lasting importance than any transient rewards for crossing the finish line first. It's great to set challenging goals for myself and then try to achieve them. Sometimes I will, but even when I don't, I'll have done some extraordinary work. You know, I talk a lot about this over here. This is a good meditation. I talk a lot about, but I don't know why I was supposed to specifically hear it today. I don't know. You know, I talk a lot about the journey, not the destination over here. I'm a big believer in that saying. And I can remember like years ago, I loved that, you know, when people would say it's the journey, not the destination. And then I was watching like a Nissan Pathfinder ad, and it was like, the journey is the destination. And I was like, a car ad steals it, you know? But I am a believer in that. And I'm a believer that, you know, whatever your end goal is, that may not actually be like your dream that you're wanting in your life. You know, the dream may be the process that gets you there, the people you meet along the way. I can remember being in early sobriety, and every, you know, token, every keychain that I got was like so important to me. Like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months. You know, I would look at those and I'd be like, I can remember knowing people and they would have like 30 days and I had 10, and I'm like, how do they have 30 days? Like, I can't stay sober 30 days, you know? And then I would look at people that had like 90 days and people that had a year, and anybody past a year, I thought they were faking it and lying. I just did. I thought there's no way that they're sober, you know, 10 years. How did they stay sober 10 years? You know, and I talk a lot about the fact that I've been sober for 25 and a half years, but it really, to be honest with you, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. I mean, there's kind of a saying that, you know, whoever gets up earliest in the morning has the most sobriety, because we only have a daily reprieve from addiction, you know? And I'm a big believer in that. Am I much different than I was 25 years and 9 months ago? Absolutely. Like, but that is really, you know, a combination of all of the people that I've met. My recovery is really about the people that I've met when I look back on it. When I look at my journey, it's very much like the Wizard of Oz at the end. You know, it's the people that Dorothy has met along the way. Some that have become her greatest friends, and some that have become her greatest adversaries in life, you know? And I think like that's much like how life is. You know, the Wizard of Oz is very much, I think, an analogy for life and the people that you're going to meet along the way. And some are going to give you courage, and some are going to give you heart, and you know, and other people they're going to, you know, test who you are as a person. So I don't know, today, like when I grab a coin, you know, on my birthday or whatever, that date means a lot to me because I remember back where I was, you know, 25, 24 years, you know, now it's 25 years ago, but and we don't borrow time, but like I'm coming up on 26 years, you know, and so I think about like where I was that month leading up, and it's vivid, some of it to me, and some of it is completely gone and will never come back. But it's not about the coin that I hold in my hand or how much time I've had or any of that kind of stuff. You know, it really, really isn't. It's so, cool to me when I just got a letter today in the mail, somebody sharing with me that they got sober this year. And they said in the letter, that like something about my journey was helped that, that's one of the reasons why I do share my journey so publicly, is because I want people to know that it's possible, and that we are not a glum lot, and that you can have a great life too. You can have an amazing life beyond your wildest dreams sober, But all of that are the things that I just wanted that coin. Like I just wanted that time. That time meant something to me because I think it proved something, And I think like when I've looked at anything in my life that I've tried to do, I just shared the story about finishing writing the book the other day. I look at that and I look in retrospect, and it was really more about the whole process of sitting down every night and coming up with the characters and thinking about it and whatever, it wasn't about the end goal, it was like, I was proud of myself. That's why I went outside and I looked up at the sky and said, Mom, I wrote a book, but like, it was more about the process. And anything that I've ever done, like in my life that I'm super proud of, has been because of the process. It hasn't been because of the great reward at the end of it, like, okay, so I won the lottery, I mean, I didn't, but I wish I did, it's like, I think that's often maybe, I remember like before I was working, and I would put my feet up on this table that my dad had in his kitchen, and he would get so upset about it. And he'd be like, take your feet off that table. And he would say, when you can earn the money to buy that table, then you can buy a table and put your feet up on it if you want to, And that's so much more than just a table. That's about respect. That's about everything you learn along the way. And I can remember getting my first paycheck when I was working in treatment, and it was like, first of all, as somebody that had dealt in the past, I thought I could have made this in an hour. And the second thing I thought was, I earned this. Like, I showed up and earned this. Like, that was a big deal to me, And it wasn't about that paycheck and what I was going to spend it on and all those kinds of things. It was about, which ultimately ended up giving me freedom, but it was just like kind of the fact that like I had shown myself that I was able to do this. It represented so much more. And I think that's it, and I think so often in life, maybe that's why like lottery winners lose a lot of their money and they become like very sad and their lives fall apart, because there was no process to earning it. That was what I was going to say before. I don't know, like you hear all these horror stories of people that win the lottery and then their lives fall apart. Maybe that's it, Maybe there was no journey along the way to that money, so it doesn't mean anything, I don't know. Anyway, that's a good meditation. All right, I'm going to read from Melody Beatty's Journey to the Heart next. Let's see. I don't really realize how few days we have left in the year until I get to October, which I don't really think is like, I still think like, oh, we have so much time left this year. This is the days that we've gone through, and this is October to December. Okay, isn't that crazy? This is the year that we've lived through so far. Think about that, all the days of this year that we've gone through so far. October 3rd. Get my glasses on. Finish unfinished business. Finish your business with people. October 3rd, finish unfinished business. Finish your business with people. Unfinished business with others is the biggest block to an open heart, the biggest block to peace and joy. The tangled cords that bind us to the past are easy to find. All we need to do is become quiet and listen to the voice of our heart. Why do we resent? Who are we angry with, hurt by? Who are the people we aren't at peace with? That's our unfinished business, the unfinished business of the heart. Look deep inside, find your secrets, find your not quite finished pieces, then discover what you need to finish. Often the answer is only a breath away, a breath of fresh air, a breath of forgiveness, a breath of love. Take that breath, let the past go, let it go in peace, thankful for all you've learned along the way. Tie up your loose ends. Heal your connections to others in your heart by finishing unfinished business. Then you'll be free to move on, and you can go forward in peace. Okay, this is such a valuable meditation for me, and I want to share why. About 2 years ago, well, it's probably been about, just a little bit over 2 years ago now, I started on this like really lengthy journey of self-evaluation and inventory and taking a look at like who I was, who I had been, who I was now, and who I wanted to be going forward. I've talked a lot about it on my channels, of really wanting to do this deep evaluation of like all of the things, right? And, in working a 12-step program, like I do with my sponsor, I realized that there were several people in there that I owed amends to. And I can remember going into 2020, I was like, I still had like 3 or 4 amends that I needed to make. I think it was 3 amends. And I was like, I have to make these amends. Like, I have to, And I remember it was like that March, we were going on vacation. And I was like, was this going into 2020? Yes, it was. And I was like, I have to make this amends. Like, I just felt like I couldn't go on this vacation unless, like, there was lingering crap that was still there, right? And so I had done inventory with my sponsor, and, I talked to this person on the phone, and they were willing to listen to my amends, and they accepted my amends. And, and I won't say that it was like, it's not like we're best friends today, and that's fine, But, like, I walked away from that situation, and I was like, there was, like, this freedom that came from it that I had known because, I had unfinished business with people in the past that I had made amends for, But these were lingering amends that I hadn't taken responsibility for my actions. And then the second one, I made amends to this person, and they were not willing to listen to my amends right away. They put me off for 3 months. And that person's one of my, dearest friends today. They really are. And I'm so thankful that we were able to, have this kind of, this very real moment, And then the third person, I was holding on to, I was I don't want to make this amends. Have you ever been at a point in your life where you owe somebody an apology, which an amends is not an apology. An amends is saying, listen, I need to take responsibility for my actions. I'm a changed person. I'm different today, and this is how I've changed, and it won't happen again, right? And you allow that person to also share what happened to them as a result of you and what they want to do with it. So there was this person that I felt like maybe they kind of owed me an amends too. Well, in fact, all three people I kind of felt that way a little bit with, And I think what happened for me was I believe very much in God moments, these spiritual moments. When it came to the first one, I just was you know what? I do not need any kind of amends from this person. I really am at a point in my life where I wish them the best. And then the second person, it was the same thing. I went into it with no expectations and I had no, whatever. But the third one hurt a little deeper. And so I can remember doing inventory the last time with my sponsor of it. We did an inventory over it a couple times, and she said, are you ready to make this amends and go into it with no expectations, because this person may not they may take no responsibility for what they did to you whatsoever. And she said, you need to know that that's okay. If they don't, it's not about them, it's about you, and you need to take responsibility for your actions. And I went into that amends, and they made amends for their behavior. They made amends for how they had treated me. And I didn't expect it, And so I went into 2020, and I didn't even, I don't think, realize it right away that I had this immense weight lifted off my shoulders, that I didn't, all this stuff that ran around in my head and just owned me, it didn't own me anymore, and I was able to be free from all of that junk and that crap, and I think as human beings, we really cause so much stress and anxiety between people that doesn't need to be there, It just doesn't. To just be able to have a conversation and say, hey, listen, you hurt me or I hurt you, and I need to own that. And I think I get it today. I get it. I really do. It's sad that it took me, 48 years of my life to get it. But it's really rather simple. And it did take me this long. It really did, to realize that I have the ability to hurt other people, and they have the ability to hurt me as well. But man, the power of talking that out with one another and getting through to the other side is, it's pretty big deal. And I think that was the way to peace and serenity for me, I don't really have that with anybody today. I really don't, I have really no resentments in my life today. I just honestly can't say that I have any resentments towards anybody today, And that's a pretty peaceful place to be in. And it also is I don't have a lot of expectations for people either. There's been a few people in my life that I've had to let go of expectations for, because I would lower my expectations, and I would continue to get hurt. And I can remember having a conversation with my best friend Tanya one night, and I said, how low do I have to lower my expectations? And she goes, until you don't have them anymore. And I've gotten that place, with a lot of people. And I've even said in these videos, don't you think that as human beings, we have a right to have expectations on how people treat us? I do believe that, but I believe that we're going to get hurt if we do, and humans are humans. They err, they make mistakes, they hurt people, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not intentionally. I know that I've hurt people unintentionally in my life before, and if people had expectations that I was never going to do that again, then they would have some, serious resentment towards me. And I think that's probably what has happened in life with me and some other people. And the same with me to them is that I've had, unrealistic expectations for how other people should treat me, Once I let go of that, it was my life was much easier, And what I also realized is that each relationship in my life is completely different. You know, I'm not going to have the same relationship with this person that I have with that person. And that process of talking things out, I just spit in my mouth. That process of talking things out, or that process of forgiveness, you know, okay, for example, my husband's not somebody that, like, if we get into a fight and I turn around and go, I'm sorry, that he's like real ready to hear it. Like, he needs some time, he needs some space. And, you know, that took me a couple years to figure that out, you know, like, it took me some time to realize if I give him some space, he's pretty good, you know, like, he'll sit down and we'll talk it out. But that was realizing that, like, not everybody in my life is, like, real quick. My best friend and I, like, we haven't really fought much in our life ever. But the times that we have, we've, like, turned around and, like, fixed it real quick. Well, that doesn't work with everybody. My mom and I, that we were the same way. My dad, not so much. You know, my dad's very much like my husband is, you know, like, give me a little space. So everybody in my world is different, and I'm probably different in everybody else's world as well. But I think at the end of the day, don't we want peace and serenity for everybody? So if we can go into those, you know, conversations and try to take responsibility for our part and think about putting ourselves, like, you know, in To Kill a Mockingbird, into somebody else's shoes and walking around in their front porch for a while and seeing what it might be like from their point of view, maybe we would understand people a little bit better, and maybe we wouldn't have all that stress and anxiety. I don't know. For me, that is the key to why I live a pretty stress-free life today, you know, and I want to continue to live that way. So anyway, let me know what you think about those meditations. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.